Hello and welcome to this special episode of Focus on Akin Obake. Now, on this episode, we'll be bringing you the special highlights on the launch of the Africa Hub for the Center for International Private Enterprise and also the floating of the Association and Chamber Excellence, which is a certification course for chambers and associations here in Africa. So join us in the next couple of minutes as we bring you a key highlight from the event.
Today marks a significant day, not just for the Center for International Private Enterprise, but for Africa's private sector. It's the launch of the CNBC Africa Hub. With its work spanning over 4 decades in 23 African countries, the CNBC sees this move as strategic for the continent's private sector. The launch is witnessed by captains of industry, government representatives, heads of chambers of commerce, and associations on the continent.
It's no accident that CIPE chose Nigeria for its Africa Hub. Lagos is one of Africa's leading centers of commerce and innovation. It plays a critical role not just in Nigeria's democratic and economic future, but in the continent's future as a whole. It is the perfect place to anchor our long-term commitment to Africa. For more than 4 decades, CIPE has worked in over 120 countries, including 23 in Africa. Our global network of partners include organizations representing millions of small and medium-sized companies, as well as think tanks and other civil society organizations. And we've supported more than 530 African chambers, associations, and membership organizations to strengthen democratic institutions, foster economic inclusion, and promote accountable government. Through these partnerships, CIPE has empowered the private sector to advance economic freedoms, unlock business growth, and lay the foundations for lasting prosperity.
This launch is a regional milestone and demonstrates CIPE's enduring commitment to strengthening democracy, led by private sector-driven reforms that build fair business environments and create jobs. We are honored to support the private sector and partner with CIPE, a unique institution that supports economic freedoms through market-oriented reforms and the involvement of private enterprises. As American diplomats in Nigeria, I'm part of a team that is working to deepen the relationship between U.S. and Nigerian flagship corporations and between smaller U.S. and Nigerian enterprises.
The event witnessed a panel discussion that spotlighted the role of the private sector in attracting investment while playing the role of advocacy in engagement with the public sector.
Addressing the systemic challenges of infrastructure deficits, political instability, climate vulnerability, and limited access to capital is essential to unlocking this growth potential. Contributing to this complexity is the fact that most African businesses are small and medium-sized enterprises, which although they make up the lifeblood of local economies, they often struggle to access financing, technology, and markets needed to scale.
With collaboration at the heart of what the hub will foster, Abdullah Kebsi, the Managing Director of Programs at CIPE, gives a glimpse of what could be unlocked by private sector players.
For more than 40 years, we have learned a simple truth. Our impact is only possible because of you, our partners, allies, and champions across Africa. Together, we have moved from dialogue to collaboration, from advocacy to policy, and from partnership to impact. Because of this shared journey, communities are stronger, institutions are more accountable, and businesses are better able to create jobs and opportunity.
Representatives of chambers of commerce and associations present share their perspective on the impact of the launch.
We are very passionate about helping organizations to engage with their regulators, helping them to understand regulation, helping them to understand what practices they need to put in place to make things work well. And when I think about this SIPE hub and what it means for the chamber ecosystem, I think it's very critical because it gives us a structure within which to operate. It helps us to engage with other bodies within that ecosystem so that we are all in sync. Like when we are in sync, then we can speak louder, we can be more effective, we can be more impactful.
There's not a real understanding of what the MSMEs are bringing to the table. And that disinformation could be from so many different sources. We think that as it is in Nigeria today, is the lack of information that's hurting the government's ability to play its role properly. And we hope that this CIP hub would be able to analyze that information, give some more context to what the MSMEs really are facing in our economy.
We are the only one association that have access to head of states in West Africa, access to head of states in Africa level to provide private sector position and perspective. I believe that those who are asking the why is because they want to join this effort, because we believe that private sector should come together as one, speak as one voice, and Cyprus joining us to have this happen will make sure that we deliver good services.
Under our belt, we have about 100 chambers of commerce spread all over Nigeria. And we need to institutionalize these chambers of commerce so that they could provide needed services to their members. Now, there are gaps in terms of good governance practice at these chamber levels, the ability to deliver services effectively, which in turn will help their member companies to grow so that they can pay their subscriptions to the chamber, pay more taxes to government. It has a multiplier effect on the economy.
Now we have the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and we need to seize the opportunities that we have before others come and seize those opportunities for us. So there's opportunity, for example, from our ports to our infrastructure, to connecting the different countries and so on. But if you don't have a common voice with which to speak, for example, around standards, what standards should we do all of this infrastructure to? Let's have a collaboration between our governments around that, and let's have a level playing field for business. So if we're competing, let's compete on a level playing field.
It is important that we interact together, exchange ideas, exchange knowledge on how to improve our African economies. So this interaction and the launch will enable us create a platform where we can work together to build our economies. There's a lot of dependency and hope for the African economy. Africa alone has a bulging youth population. We need to create jobs for this youth. And the only way we can do that is when chambers and associations speak together to attract more investments towards creating jobs for our continent.
Having an institution like CIPE here with this Africa Hub, I think that really promotes investments, both local and indeed international. And it helps us to unlock, that value chain, in connecting our markets to global markets as well.
The launch of the Africa Hub coincides with the unveiling of a certification program, which is Association and Chamber Excellence in collaboration with the University of Lagos. The program is designed to enhance the capacity, governance, and operational effectiveness of chambers and associations across Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa. Let's get a sense of what this program is all about.
Well, we think it's very important that business be a part of the solution when it comes to policy making. And so we look to empower these chambers so that they know how to advocate, how to come together collectively and agree on a solution, and then work towards that through public-private partnerships with governments. And so we think that's really important that they have the tools that they need, the skills they need in order to do that, because the private sector impacts people's lives every single day. They provide jobs, but they also provide consumer goods. And we are all engaged with the private sector every day. So it's vastly important that they be a part of that decision-making table when it comes to policymaking.
That's a legacy program for SIPE, not like any other we've done before. And what that means is this is a program that we anticipate will outlive funding cycles. So the idea is to make that program sustainable so that it continues to serve not just Nigerian chambers and associations, but chambers and associations throughout Africa. It might birth another program like itself in other countries, but for now, chambers and associations that need this kind of capacity development have a place to go.
When you come in to undergo this program, has an objective. The objective is certification. You are certified to have been good at strategic planning, communication, financial sustainability, budgeting, and so on and so forth. All these things have been identified to not being done effectively or optimally. Okay, so the belief is that when they come, and of course that has been tested, taking them through this curriculum or curricula, at the end of the day, they'll be able to do it better than what they are doing now. So we have done our TOT. TOT means training of trainers. We have identified people who will help us deliver. People will teach on the program. It's not just anybody. I mean, for you to teach, you must fulfill certain criteria that we have worked on. We have taken them through our training to align their interest with our interest, to be sure that they can, coexist with us in this direction. So they are ready. So anytime soon, between now and November, we'll take in our first cohort. Okay, it's a 3-month program, and we hope to run about 2 or 3 diets, within the year.
For CIP, these initiatives mark a bold new chapter in its work on the continent as it amplifies the role of the private sector as a catalyst for democratic resilience and inclusive growth in Africa.
A hub that will cater to the growth and well-being of chambers and associations here in Africa, and more so also equip leaders and executives of these chambers and associations in terms of providing their leadership skills and advocacy skills on the continent. Well, more importantly is the fact that Africa's private sector yet again is at the front burner of Africa's growth discussion. Well, that's all we can take on this episode of Focus on. I'm Akin Obakeye. Thank you for watching.